Morning, coffee moaners.
Good morning, coffee moaners. Welcome to our channel if you're new, and hello to all our regulars. You are a fabulous group of people.
How do you know that?
Well, I know what I know of them here.
We know of the
just
people we know.
consistently come and they get involved and give us more to think about, and I love that.
Really
and I love the kindness between people.
There's an awful lot of you in the waiting room. Awful lot of you just waiting there for us to go live. And for some reason, my right leg is being attacked by a puppy. So apologies. Pepper, stop it.
So we have got, quite a lot to get through today. So, Mark, kick us off with what we're doing.
What's happened?
I don't know. I just think we need to focus at the beginning.
Something's happened. Okay, so of course, we've got the Iran war is occupying everyone's waking thought, but we are not stepping away from it, but we have other kind of issues and topics. We've got lots of clips we're going to be playing in from the likes of Melania. Oh yeah.
I haven't seen this one
through
yet.
To Lindsey Graham, to the arch villain of the planet, Benjamin Netanyahu, or as leaders of the Western world like to call him, just to kind of normalize him, BB.
Oh, it's like the way we all called Boris.
Yeah.
Boris.
Well, yeah. But we are also going to talk about breaking news is that they've confirmed that 4 US airmen who went down in Iraq are dead. We're going to be talking about how Israel has acquitted the prison officer rapists of the Palestinian prisoner, who isn't the only Palestinian prisoner to be sexually assaulted, raped and abused. But clearly the message going out from Israel is it's open season if you want to abuse, rape and sexually assault Palestinian prisoners. So we're going to talk about that. Owen Jones won his BBC libel case yesterday. Sorry, I'm not one, but Rafi Berg. And could some Democrats in America actually be seeking some kind of justice for Hind Rajab? She's just come in. For Hind Rajab. So that's an awful lot to get through, and we've got extras there too. I've got a film that I can't quite believe the White House uploaded on their Instagram account, which is kind of like a cartoon trolling of Iran. And then I've got some other cartoon trolling films, one from the Chinese embassy in America and another one by Iran itself.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So you've got lots of very interesting clips. So we've got very serious. We've got the light, not that there's a lighter hearted end of this news, but we're going to have to do something about this.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's happened.
The puppy's
She's definitely trying to tell us something. What is it, Glenn?
She's literally pulling at my right arm. So I've just got a couple of headlines that we like to throw. First of all, can I just say thank you to everyone who knows the family, knows us. We went through the terrible sadness of a funeral yesterday for our dear friend, family friend, and hugely important nanny and family member, really, to our girls, Pat. So thank you. That was, it was a very moving day, and it was a very beautiful ceremony. So thank you for all of your messages online. A couple of just quick headlines that have just grabbed me that I think we should I like trotting through a couple of things.
Just quickly, because I can see a couple of people have asked about my mum and dad.
Oh, yes.
They're out of Jordan. We got them back at the weekend. It was so lovely to have them home. We do actually want to do a little bit of filming with my dad at some point.
Yes.
Because, it was quite a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're home safe, so thank you for your thoughts.
Gabrielle asks what seems like an otherwise simple, kind of naive almost question. Can someone tell me why Trump seems to be able to make decisions without any consequences or opponent fight back? That's the big question everyone on the planet's asking. Even God is... She's doing it again.
I don't know what to say.
Even God is asking that question. Pepper, stop it. So here's a head. Majority of Americans believe that Trump launched the Iran war to cover up the Epstein scandal. Data comes from a new survey by Dropsite and Zeteo. 52% of Americans believe he launched the war to cover up Epstein. And it's really important that we remind ourselves of that, because I think Epstein is sort of falling down the news kind of headlines, isn't it?
Well, of course it is. We noted the drop in the searches.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And also, just to remind everyone, Israel threatens to seize territory in Lebanon as it ramps up bombing of Beirut. And this was 10 minutes ago. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz loves the country so much he's named after it. Israel Katz, Defense Minister, threatens to raise Lebanese national infrastructure. Now, collective punishment is illegal.
That.
We are just accepting
Yeah.
Israel are going further and further north into Lebanon whilst everyone is distracted. But a part of me is now beginning to think, is the whole Iran thing just a distraction to capture Lebanon?
I mean, the thing is, Mark, I know that we do say this regularly, but we have to, is that the reason they're just doing this now is because they were able to just do it in Gaza. So they're just carrying on.
Yeah.
There were no consequences.
None.
In fact, a board of peace was brought together and Netanyahu was given a place on that board of peace.
Yeah.
So, this is the kind of upside down world we're in now.
Yeah. Well, on that, I'm just going to play you this really unedifying clip where I want to ask you a question. Whilst you're watching this, Nadia, I saw a movie last night. We were all kind of nursing our own wounds and reflecting on Pat yesterday. But as I left yesterday, Nadia said to me, I don't want to be controlled by Zionists. And it led me to a question that I woke up asking this morning. Who would you rather be ruled by? Putin, Xi from China, or Israel? I'm just thinking.
Or America.
Or
Excuse
America.
me, I wouldn't want. Don't forget, I know I say it over and over because it's going to come back to us. Trump said a few months ago, standing at a lectern, I think maybe I should be leader of Europe.
Yeah. Prudy70, do you think Epstein? Yes, please do check out most of our content. Let me just put it very clearly in terms of my opinion. The Iran war is happening because of Epstein. It's the Epstein war. It's a cover-up. It's a distraction. Israel has compromised material on every, on countless senior, high-ranking people, individuals that run the Western economies, governments, and media, and they are holding literally a gun to the head of the West. But I just want to play you this clip as you answer the question of who you would like to be the superpower, because BB is using the phrase to describe
that word?
Israel.
Citizens of Israel, my brothers and sisters, we are in historic days, days that will be written in the annals of Israel. In Operation Roaring Lion, our roar is growing and intensifying. We are pummeling the Islamic regime in Tehran. We are pummeling its emissaries, Hezbollah in Lebanon. There's unprecedented coordination between Israel and the US and achieved substantial achievements that are changing the reality in the West Bank, in the Middle East and beyond. These achievements are increasing the status of Israel as a superpower more than ever. Through our power in opposition to the power of our enemies, this is what is ensuring our survival.
So BB is describing Israel now as a superpower. They're becoming a superpower. I think it's petrifying. I think Lebanon is about to tip over to, there is literally, I mean, the part of it that is driving me absolutely fucking insane is yesterday or the day before, the leader of the Scottish National Party asked Keir Starmer a direct question on the strike on a school. Is it a war crime? Will you condemn it? Can you acknowledge it? I have never seen nor heard more crystal clear obfuscation and avoidance in my life.
He immediately said about the amount of Scottish nationals that needed to get out, didn't he?
Yeah, he distracted,
straight away.
He filibustered. He didn't answer. If I had an opportunity to stand up in Prime Minister's questions,
I wish you did.
I would literally hurl my question to the floor and say, you will need to fucking remove me with security until this man standing there answers an actual question. It's no longer Prime Minister's questions. It's Prime Minister's avoidance.
It's a shame we haven't got that clip, actually. We'd forgotten about that because he says, there are 150 Scottish nationals trapped across the UAE. To be quite honest, I find it a disgrace, or didn't he, or something? Yeah. Or I am astonished
that you're asking about anything.
Yeah,
I mean, he did not answer,
and then sat down. I messaged under that post actually saying,
I did too.
Okay, Can you do the two things at the same time? Can you tell us that there are 150 Scottish
and
nationals
answer the question,
and also answer the question?
He doesn't answer any questions,
disgusting.
any questions at all. He is wholly inadequate and useless. And I would literally, I want to become an MP to stand in Parliament to cause such distress and upset.
But the thing is, you would get removed. You'd get removed.
And I would shout uncontrollably until I was dragged out. I wouldn't swear, but I would shout repeatedly, answer the question. Answer the question until they've dragged me out onto Parliament Square and attached me to a railing. And I will forever, and that will be his lasting legacy. He doesn't, and the reason this connects to Lebanon, what politician is even talking about what's happening in Lebanon?
Oh, never.
No one's talking about
it. In the UN yesterday, they didn't even mention the Israeli and American attacks. They only mentioned the Iranian ones.
The United Nations, go fuck yourselves. Absolutely
what
useless.
The hell is that about?
How can you call out what Iran is doing and totally circumnavigate the fact that Israel, with a wanted war criminal at the helm, which the Netherlands and Iceland have now joined South Africa's seemingly useless fucking process of trying to get him prosecuted.
Can we just remind everyone to go to Spain on holiday this year if you're going away? Just go to Spain, Switzerland, South Africa.
But meanwhile, what is our useless Prime Minister answering questions about? Well, I've got him answering this about...
I want that from MeTube about the questions. The strict... Because, yes, MeTube, what would happen if Mark did that? Everyone follows...
The House rules. It's made very clear to members that they will be barred from the House if it turns out... I will turn it in. Bar me. Bar me.
Well, hang on a minute. So that's how controlled we are. That to persist with the Prime Minister to answer a direct question would be seen as a circus.
Yeah. I would
What
take
about when they all go, That's more circus. We've seen plenty of that over the years.
Let's make me crystal clear.
The puppy is going crazy.
Let's have a listen to what he was asked a question yesterday about something. Have a listen to, oh God, the most fucking annoying Prime Minister we've ever had. And I would also like to say the most passive-aggressively aggressive. He's aggressive, this man, in his administrativeness.
High Court judgment, do you now believe it was a mistake and a waste of time and money to bring a prosecution against a member of NECAP?
Well, my views on NECAP are very well known in relation to what they stand for, what they say, which is completely intolerable. I think the CPS were obviously subject to the High Court decision, and they'll be looking at the judgment very carefully.
Yeah, to the rules.
What? They are anti-genocide. They have called for a ceasefire.
You find that intolerable, do you?
Intolerable. Oh, interesting.
Strong words for you, Starmer.
Wow.
That's really crystal clear.
What about the Iranian school attack?
Yeah.
Is that intolerable?
Yeah. Good question, Nads. Why didn't they ask that as a follow-up?
What about the tens of thousands? Because there's no follow-ups these days. So NECAP are intolerable with their views, but everything else that's going on in the world, he could not commit to a word intolerable.
So NECAP are intolerable, but the killing of 180 fucking girls
isn't even worth replying
really
to.
Worth an answer. Unforgivable, unforgivable. Okay, I just want to. I've got so many absolute treats. We've got the very heavy story, which we're going to talk about shortly, regarding the Israel prison officers being acquitted.
Well, military. They're military people.
Yeah, but this is a big headline this morning. 4 crew members have been confirmed as dead in the US plane crash in Iraq as explosions heard across Tehran. Now, this story was developing yesterday. It's interesting. And of course, one's heart goes out to, because those 4 crew members, their families, etc.
Exactly.
Get more
on
lives
a pointless
lost,
war, and there's going to be millions more.
But they're going to great lengths, the Pentagon and America, to say that this wasn't a missile, this wasn't friendly fire. I mean, they're trying to kind of make it clear to the world that a mistake wasn't made, or that American hardware isn't vulnerable to anything. How much of that we can trust, we will never know. But again, 4 more lives lost is every life lost, rightly or wrongly. I mean, again, American lives clearly are valued like Israeli lives more than anyone else's in the mainstream media, in Western politics. It's ghastly that 4 American soldiers have died, but it's just part of the course.
I saw a video on Instagram yesterday, and in fact, we'll show it tomorrow. And it was all the faces of many of those children, beautiful little girls. And the question underneath was, why have we not seen one of these faces on mainstream media? Why have we not? Why have we not? Because we must not think of them as human beings. Because as long as we don't think of them as human beings, just do whatever you want to them.
No. These are the headlines across our mainstream media. 4 US crew members killed in Iraq military plane crash. 4 US crew killed in military plane crash. Victory for Putin as oil sanctions eased. Iran war latest. 4 US crew killed in military plane crash. A lot of talk about the fact that America have lifted the sanctions on Russian oil being imported or exported across by sea.
So what I'm a bit confused about, maybe it's too complicated to think, but so the war is beneficial to Putin because he can sell the oil, right?
Any oil exporters and that aren't Gulf at the moment, because the Gulf are obviously under duress.
And we're always talking about, the suspected compromat of Trump and Putin. So could that be playing a part in him going to war as well? Because maybe
who going to war?
Trump, because Putin wants the oil, wants the sanctions lifted in Europe so he can sell the oil.
There are so many.
Could be a sprinkling of that.
Yeah, I mean, again, what one has to understand is you can have more than Russia can have a terrible relationship with America and a brilliant relationship with America all at the same time. And I think that's the important. We've talked a lot about how the mainstream media wanted to make out Epstein was a Russian asset. He was a principally Mossad Israeli asset, but all intelligence agencies operate kind of with borders and without borders. They're all looking to have stuff on everyone.
Can we? We just can't know.
And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I think on the one hand, because at the other end of the spectrum, there's a lot of talk. John Healey, absolutely fucking hideous defense minister, an absolute embarrassment. He shoots with his mouth and he comes out with provocative stuff like we're some huge imperial asset on the planet that can defend ourselves. He needs to shush his mouth.
We're not.
He's really not up to the job, John. Anyway, he's running around saying, "Oh, clearly Russia are firing these advising Iran on how to operate these drones." So he's amplifying the rhetoric against Russia. You've got America.
We're in no position to do that.
I mean, just shut the fuck up, mate. Really, you're no big boy in any playground.
We're not the big boys.
So yeah, let's just hear from Simon Marks, because he gives us a good breakdown of
love Simon Marks.
Scathing series of contradictions and changes from the very moment that this military action, in conjunction, of course, with the Israelis, began. And the more time passes, it becomes increasingly evident that President Trump wants to wrap it up. He keeps saying that it will all be over soon, but then there are developments that bedevil him and his White House. And one of those came today in the statement purportedly issued by the new Supreme Leader, son of the old Supreme Leader, saying that Iran intends to do whatever it can to close the Strait of Hormuz. Even on that issue, we've had complete internal confusion within the Trump administration. 24 hours ago, the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, a member of President Trump's cabinet, was proudly announcing on social media that the US Navy had escorted the first oil through the Strait of Hormuz, which was news that resulted in the oil price falling because traders thought, oh, well, maybe, you know, things are going to be okay in the Strait of Hormuz. But then within an hour, Central Command and the Pentagon denied that it had happened. And indeed, the White House said that the Navy had not yet been given any instructions to engage in that kind of activity. And that's just one example of a White House that projects strength and a determination to bring the regime in some fashion to its knees, but behind the scenes is clearly extemporizing.
Which basically,
I love that.
Yeah, it's great. Which basically means ad-libbing.
But do check out Simon Marks every day. He doesn't really do much on his channel, but he goes into lots of other shows, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
But he's just so eloquent and so to the point.
Yeah.
And he's also can be very witty.
He can be. I mean, you know, it is an incredibly confused and hard to read set of circumstances.
But that's been the strategy from the day he walked into the White House. Multiple. Do you remember when he signed 1,000? Keep you confused. Keep the news moving on the whole time. But it seems that he's cognitively, he seems to be in a very different place now, Trump as well, which adds to the whole. I mean, the things that are confusing matters quite considerably, especially. We said yesterday, keep one's eye on Turkey. Now, Turkey is no friend of Israel's, but the very odd sort of development at the moment, which again makes me cock an eyebrow and wonder whether we can entirely trust the news, is this headline, which broke half an hour ago, which is air defenses have intercepted an Iranian missile fired into Turkish airspace. NATO was scrambled, air and missile defense assets shot down an Iranian missile going into Turkish airspace. Now, I've got this strange feeling, just bear with me on this. Given that, you know, Mike Pompeo, Trump's first regime's Secretary of State, stated that there were a Mossad on the ground in Iran. I'm assuming there's probably still a Mossad presence in Iran. Can we trust that Iran have shot this missile at Turkey, given that Saudi Arabia have declared... Who was it again that said that they had Mossad on the ground?
Saudi Arabia.
No,
Mike Pompeo.
Yeah, what was he?
Secretary of State in his first presidency. So given the fact that we know that Mossad are agitating on the ground in Iran, it seems entirely counterproductive for Iran to fire anything at Turkey. And they have officially said, Arsenal Troll have officially said they didn't strike Azerbaijan, Turkey, or Cyprus. So I've got this real kind of concern that, you know, to what extent could Israel or operatives from within Iran, who's confirming where these missiles have come from? Because of course,
well, it will be the same as it's been with Gaza, won't it? It'd be like, don't believe anything other than what the IDF give you, and it's going to be the same here.
And the other news that the mainstream tabloids in this country are trying to promote, I don't know if you saw it this morning, The Sun and the Mail are saying that the new Ayatollah has no legs and is in a coma and isn't even aware that he's the Ayatollah. So again, I mean, I'm not. It's just one will never know the propaganda. Mossad are running buck wild, says Catherine Foley. YouTube, it makes sense from a military tactic. Turkey is NATO, so Iran pushing to see if NATO can be dragged in, or NATO pushes back against the US. But NATO is only going to work for America. We've got Mark Rutte, who considers President Trump to be the daddy. I'm the daddy.
NATO is just going to do whatever America wants.
NATO is just a wibbly-wobbly suppository, isn't it? Yeah. God. Okay. Well, so as you...
But does he have... I mean, come on. He doesn't have ultimate.
Who?
Rutte. He doesn't make the ultimate decisions.
Well, whether he does or whether he doesn't, he's a suppurating supporter of Trump. So triggering anything from Turkey re-NATO. I mean, you know, I can't help but feel there is an Israeli connection there somewhere. Okay, well let's. She's just up by my feet, don't worry.
No, I just need my phone.
Sorry, I thought you were. Okay, so we're gonna move on to, this is again a trigger warning. This is an incredibly
trigger warning.
Incredibly triggering story. This, and I've got the Al Jazeera story here. Except it seems to have, what's happened there? Just bear with me one sec. Israel drops charges against soldiers in Palestinian detainee abuse case. Charges have been dropped against 5 soldiers accused of sexually abusing a Palestinian detainee at a military facility. This is the Haaretz headline today on their Instagram.
This is Israel's sort of left-wing paper.
It's sort of like, imagine the Guardian of Israel. A message to all IDF soldiers, ostensibly, this ruling: you may rampage, assault, and abuse, and you will never be punished. Take it away, Nads. Tell us about this.
Well,
I've got footage here. Do you want me to play it as an underlay?
I don't know if any of you remembered this case. This was last year.
No.
So with video evidence, these soldiers. Have we got the video?
The underlay
put that underneath it. Trigger warning. So he's taken. There's a whole load of prisoners actually lying on the floor, face down. There they are. They pick him out. They take him over to the wall, and then they rape him. His injuries were so bad that he had to go to hospital. If he hadn't have gone to hospital, none of this would have happened. The injuries were extensive, and as a result, 9 people were arrested. Now, this caused absolute mayhem. But these were lawmakers and members of parliament that went to the prison where they were being held.
This is one of them.
This is one of them on a chat show, and were trying to smash down the gates to get in, to get them released. Oh, that poor man.
Hailed as heroes.
They were hailed as heroes. They were, so they were then let out, weren't they? They were let out of prison. And and thoroughly supported by the Israeli community. As I say, lawmakers, politicians, to have video evidence. And one of the reasons that was given for them being, for the case being dropped, was there wasn't due to evidence. That was one of the insufficient evidence.
So informed, the most moral army in the world dropped charges against 5 IOF soldiers who gang raped a detained Palestinian man on camera. The IOF announced that charges have been dropped against 5 occupation soldiers who gang raped the Palestinian man on camera at the Sid Timan military prison where systematic abuse of Palestinians occurs. The gang rape occurred on July 5th, 2024, involved the IOF soldiers sodomizing a man with a knife. The victim was so severely injured he was transferred to a hospital, unable to walk. The rape was only made public due to Major General Yifat Tomer Yerushami, a top IOF lawyer, leaking the security video footage to Israeli media, and she was then arrested for the leak.
And her case is going ahead.
So they're going ahead with the case of prosecuting the woman who leaked the video, but they're not doing anything about the people who actually sexually assaulted and raped the prisoner.
Even though there is video evidence.
Following the video being made public, 10 IOF soldiers were detained for questioning, prompting a mass protest, with protesters and members of the Knesset storming a military base. I'm going to play you a clip now that Nadia very cleverly found, which is them arguing this point. You'll have to watch the subtitles. They're speaking in Hebrew, but watch
They're
this.
on podcast, maybe come over to YouTube.
Have a look at this.
שהמדינה שלנו נכנסת אליו סביב הסיפור הזה הוא מטורף וצריך להפסיק אותו, ואני חושב שצריך פה לתת דוגמה אישית, ואני אומר עכשיו, ואני קורא לחברי הקואליציה לעשות כמוני, אני קם ואני יוצא מפה, ואני לא הולך להצביע יותר על שום דבר, עד שהסיפור הזה והטרלול הזה, שיש מי שבפרקליטות חושב שאפשר לבוא ולעצור חיילים על דברים שעושים למחבלי נוח'בה, לא נגמר. להמשיך כרגיל.
להכניס מקל לרקטום של בן אדם, זה לגיטימי?
כן, אם הוא נוח'בה, הכל לגיטימי לעשות לו. הכל. הכל.
Everything is legitimate, basically.
If it's a terrorist. Now, you remember, but at least half, 50% of prisoners in Israeli prisons do not get actually charged. And everybody that's in the prison is deemed a terrorist. So he's saying, if it's a terrorist, you can do what you want. This is them when they were, look at this.
So this is footage of a crowd applauding the soldiers when they appeared in Israel's Supreme Court. And I just want to stress to people, remember, These are officers, soldiers, these are rapists. This is the country that you've just seen their leader, a wanted war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu, declaring with pride that this conflict against Iran is leading to Israel becoming a superpower. So when I ask that loaded question of who would one rather be led by or controlled by or ruled by, this is what Israel is about.
A few weeks ago, a statement came from one of the ICE detention centers in America saying we cannot do anything about sexual assault that happens in the detention centers. So,
Tina
so
Biscuit,
this is
just on that, because Nadia was invoking Abu Ghraib earlier today. Jesus fucking Christ, says Tina Biscuit, but what about Abu Ghraib? Was it not proved that everything is not allowed?
So one of the lawyers has said that is regularly in contact with prisoners in these torture camps in Israel, that it is way worse than Abu Ghraib. What's going on? And remember, they have the highest amount of child prisoners. Yesterday, there was the most horrific video of police and army crashing into a house. They literally went all around the house, like banging on the doors, grabbed a young person. I don't know. I think he looked about 12. He'd painted a picture of a Palestinian flag in the square, and he was just dragged off to prison. And Ben-Gvir comes out and says, yes, they're very strict in that area. It's zero tolerance. Now in prison, in a prison that it is now, it seems okay to rape people. We knew that rape was being used consistently. I have seen dozens and dozens of videos of prisoners coming out. I never post them because they're too upsetting, of people just like these men that are so distraught with the shame, and do not want to say a word of it because of their shame, but do in the hope that the world wakes up and says something. This is from Haaretz newspaper, again, the Israeli, like Mossad Guardian. Instead of suffering public disgrace and serious punishment, the defendants are emerging as victors. They are being invited onto TV shows, you know.
Heroes.
The Israeli community applaud them. The poisonous ripples of this decision will spread far beyond this specific case. It reflects an organizational culture of permitting bestial conduct anywhere within the army and gives soldiers de facto permission to let out their basest, most primitive emotions instead of restraining their use of force. This decision has destroyed the army's subordination to the law and to humane norms of behavior. Can I ask this question? So at the moment, this is to Palestinians. What kind of a society are you left with once all the Palestinians have gone? What do you think? Do you think to the future? What kind of a society do you have? Because if you say rape's kind of okay, it's okay to terrorists, and everyone is seen as terrorists as Palestinian. What about if, a woman that's wearing a short dress? Or what about somebody of color? Because we know they face horrendous racism in Israel. They may be Jewish, but they're of color. You know, what are you going to do to your society long term? Because Haaretz is obviously very worried about what's doing to society.
I mean, I'm amazed Haaretz still published.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's unbelievable. But I just want to say also, don't forget, this is the regime. This is the Israeli regime that is about any minute to start launching kangaroo courts to execute Palestinian prisoners.
They're racing it through.
Hostages. They're racing it through.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can rape them, you can sexually assault them, and you can hang them. So this is another way of just kind of, in a way, industrializing and administratively justifying the mass slaughter of Palestinians. The question that I keep coming back to is this. Are people like David Lammy, Keir Starmer, are they truly wandering around the corridors of the House of Commons at Parliament Square unaware of these stories?
Well,
and if anyone tells them, what do they say?
They are not unaware, because John, I always forget his name, the Labour MP, the only one that I've seen consistently speaking out, he says, like I said the other day here on the show, we are consistently told what's going on. And when he's asked by interviewers, and why is nothing done, he says, I really cannot tell you.
Because Jeremy Corbyn is saying it all the time. Many politicians are saying it, but this government say absolutely
nothing. And that's
nothing.
why when you've got people like Rory Stewart saying things like they did on the Rest is Politics the other day, I mean, it seems to me that the Green Party seems to have gathered people through the genocide. Well, hang on a minute. Don't just skip over that, because there are millions of people that are looking at politicians that seem to think that all of this is irrelevant, and yet what a rock band, or not rock band, what a music a pop star, whatever, might throw a flag or like wear a keffiyeh is intolerable, but none of this would have such a strong word as intolerable. So of course you are going to have people move to a party that are actually saying this is a genocide, this is a horror story, we need to worry, because with all the rest of you doing this, it makes us feel really frightened, because it makes us feel that you care nothing for humanity.
Labour offer Israel.
Consistently ignore it.
Labour offer Israel, not Britain. Kelly McKiffey. I mean, I just want to say just for a minute here. This is an interesting thought. Jessica has green hands. Thank you for. I've not seen you comment before. The rate was released on purpose to be able to assess the public opinion. In my personal opinion, well, it's interesting you should say that. I mean, less that I necessarily think it was strategic, because the woman who released it herself is about to be prosecuted. But I definitely, for a fact, governments leak news into the media and into the public consciousness in order to test responses.
Trump does it all the time, doesn't he? He'll say he'll give a harebrained idea and then just see.
And for a fact, I think military, intelligence services, that this sort of stuff will be leaked into the public realm to see what the kind of response is.
The public loved it. They loved it. Ask for more.
Well, this is why Israel. Let's be blunt. Of course, that's what they're doing generally. Otherwise, Israel wouldn't have been able to conduct the genocide they've conducted with virtually no pushback from absolutely any country of, and when I say of note, I don't mean that those countries that are small, but countries with power to hold a torch to their feet. South Africa are trying, Ireland has tried, the Netherlands now, Iceland. I mean, the Israelis have been allowed to get away with it, and this is what happens. What's happening? Forever and a day. I mean, even last night, apparently on Question Time, and the Green Party one, that was the first Question Time where they didn't have a Reform member. Wow. That was quite something. But there's still even the suggestion that probably because something has to be done.
Hang on a minute. That's probably because nobody from Reform wanted to go on, because there's the difficult question of Farage grifting on either side. That's why I bet they were begging for somebody on from
You're
Reform.
absolutely right. We're seeing it as a decision, and it was probably the fact that no one was available.
Definitely.
But even in the discussion around Iran last night, none of this is to say that the Iranian regime, as we've said many times, is egregious and human rights awful. You can say that and still definitively say that we should not in any way have allowed Israel or America to go in there and try and change the regime. It is not their place to do it. It is only about Israel. And I will forever and a day drag everyone back to this fact, kicking and screaming. Are you seriously telling me that anyone feels that Israel should be the arbiters of democracy and regime change when they have committed a genocide before our eyes?
And what they're doing to Lebanon at the moment.
It's disastrous.
And you know what? They're bombing Gaza heavily. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
The whole ceasefire, wherever nobody even talks about that.
No. Okay,
the West Bank is being wiped out. I mean, it's...
So I've got a couple of clips here that are going to just remind us of just the kind of gung-ho, trigger-happy madness of Americans. This is Lindsey Graham at the Republican Jewish Convention. Listen to this. Republican, I think, Jewish Convention.
I want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
We need a moment. Hang on. We need to sit with that for a moment.
We've run out of bombs.
We're killing all the right people. And remember, the only people that they think deserve to live on this earth are Christian fundamentalists.
Yes.
America.
Yeah. Can I just ask a really silly
Christian
question?
Zionists.
I just want
because
to.
the hate towards Jews from a lot of these Christians that's where it gets so complicated, you know.
Can I ask who ultimately in this? Let's just for a minute step towards. Can someone help me in the room? This Armageddon fundamentalist evangelical narrative. Is the idea in this that Christian Zionists, who until not that long ago would themselves have been anti-Semitic,
well, and still are,
and still are, but they're Zionist. I mean, there's an argument to say that Zionism in and of itself is anti-Semitic. So there's the chosen people are the people of Israel, and then you've got the evangelical Christian Zionists saying Armageddon's going to happen. Here's the question.
But their Armageddon wipes out all Arabs and Jews.
Yeah, but
that's the craziness of it.
Do Jewish people come out of this Armageddon narrative alive or not?
Not from the American side.
Who survives Armageddon? Call me old-fashioned. I thought Armageddon meant everyone went.
Everyone apart from the supreme races.
Because I mean, I'm trying to understand it in a blockbuster film story. So who ultimately doesn't survive in this second coming Armageddon? Was it the Amalek? What do they call it in Israel? All this fucking stupid biblical language being used to. I mean, and you know, and when people say things like, "Can you not blaspheme?" Oh my holy mother of Christ. Can we not blaspheme? I think some of the most blasphemous things happening on the planet right now are being said by Zionists, the Israeli regime, evangelicals in America. That man, Lindsey Graham, calls himself religious.
Oh, hang on. No, we've got this wrong. Christian Zionists believe that the modern state of Israel is a direct fulfillment of biblical prophecy and that supporting it is a theological imperative.
Okay, read the next bit.
Advocate for Jewish return to the Holy Land as a prerequisite for the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Viewing the 1948 establishment of Israel as the beginning of the end times.
So hang on, what are the end times? What is
end time scenario? A belief that a final major war, often associated with Armageddon, will take place in the Middle East, leading to the return of Christ. Yeah, that's one.
So basically, it's everyone goes up in flames.
So the political influence, strong support for Israeli expansionist policies, including the sovereignty over the West Bank and the recognition of Jerusalem as the capital.
I'll say it again. Biodiversity, what no, absolutely. The climate change is the revelation for them. Hence, Theo believing in Antichrist has returned. I still don't understand who are the goodies and who are the baddies in their story. I know who the baddies are in my story.
That isn't
Rachel Thomas. Not unless they profess that Jesus is their Lord and Savior.
Yes.
They have to say it. So we have to say it.
We
all apparently have to say it, or we die, even if it's not sincere. What? Oh, for God's sake, guys.
God.
Two things. Get a life. Jesus, holy mother of Christ. Well, look, what we need in a situation like this, Nadia, is a visionary.
Oh, God.
Do you want a visionary?
Oh, no.
I know success is not born overnight, but rather takes shape after a long and sometimes challenging process.
Like your speech.
Often alone at the top, I follow my passion, listen to my instinct, and always maintain a laser focus. In solitude, my creative mind dances, filling my imagination with originality. Attention to detail, demanding schedules, and multitasking are everyday realities when building towards success. The principle resonates across all my roles.
She's talking, Nadia, about being a visionary.
But in
she's
context?
original.
Why does anyone fucking care?
Now,
in what context? Is she going to stop him throwing bombs at Iran? Is she going to fucking kick him down the stairs and get him sorted out?
Do look top left as Trump doesn't understand a thing that's going on.
They're humanitarian, philanthropist, and entrepreneur. as well as with my new film, where I shaped its creative direction, served as a producer, managed post-production, and activated the marketing campaign. Curiosity is a core value that keeps me ahead of the curve. Curiosity begets knowledge, opening doors to ideas and industry that I have otherwise overlooked. This unrestricted mindset has led me to build across very different sectors: fashion, digital assets, publishing, accessories, skincare, commercial television, and of course, filmmaking.
Oh my God.
She's a fucking documentary filmmaker, Nads. Melania's a documentary filmmaker.
But what was the point of what she was saying?
Telling us why she's a visionary. Trump standing at the back doesn't know what visionary means.
Does she not know nobody's watched it? Nobody bought a ticket.
I feel a bit sorry for her. That baby had enough, hadn't it? I feel a bit sorry for her, if I'm honest.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I do. It hurts my ears, says Chris Cox.
That was, oh my God.
Okay, well, look, let's...
Oh my God. These dictators always have an idiotic wife with thousands of pairs of shoes, don't they?
Yeah. Well,
Jesus Christ.
To redress the balance, Donald Trump gets a little bit coquettish and emotional.
Oh, no.
Are never achieved alone. So I am here today, and I'm so honored to present this, my Order of ECOS medal, to you, Donald Trump. So we only get one, but I want to recognize the support and the impact you've had on women's sports throughout the Olympic movement, specifically standing up to keep biological women in women's sports. I believe this actually makes you the first president in history to ever be awarded an Order of ECOS as well. So thank you. Isn't he just the best?
How long is it before people are lying prostrate on the floor when he walks into a fucking room? Are you kidding? I mean, he goes, oh, me? He's probably threatened, in my opinion, all her family to get that medal, to get that fucking medal.
Trump's trophy cabinet is aching. It's so full of stuff that people are just giving him anything.
So he's still mugging people for their trophies.
Yeah. I reckon he's
it's so scary. What's happened to the world? What's happened?
I reckon he's melting them down.
What's happened?
And he's building frames around.
I'm really afraid. I'm really
okay.
afraid.
Hang on. Let me just remind you of a moment earlier this week. I paid for the drapes.
No.
I can afford the drapes.
I can't do this. I can't do it. Those two clips, one after another, I can't do it. I can't do this anymore.
Okay, well, let's go to the White House's Instagram account.
No, shush. Somebody's got to say something to help me. Please.
It'll all be over.
Please.
It'll all be over.
Please.
It's all going to end. It's good Armageddon stuff.
He's still getting people to give them their trophies and medals.
Yeah, they're giving him their trophies.
What? Everything we've done, everything we've learned, everything we are yet to learn, everything is a complete fucking waste of time because these two are sitting with their fucking crowns on.
Yes. Okay. Well, look, this will calm you down. This is what the White House posted yesterday. Check this out, guys.
Oh God, what is it?
Claim it, strike to claim it, and
Turn it off.
Okay.
Turn it off.
It's off. But look, the Chinese embassy.
That is human being. That is turning. I mean,
it's a computer game.
Sport.
Yeah, temping bowling.
It's fucking sport. There are new videos out today on reputable Instagram accounts showing new videos of Palestinians being shot for fun. Right? That's
They are turning
sport.
The massacre of children into a temping bowling montage.
to dehumanize. So you can have a beer and watch this. Sit like you'd have a beer and snacks watching sport.
Iran has done a film in reply using Lego. It's fine, I've checked it.
I don't really understand it.
So Iran used Lego films are a big thing, aren't they? Lego characters. They've done that. That's their own pastiche of why Trump went to war and how he basically fired a missile and aimed it at a school. So they're saying it's all about the Epstein files. So there's a trolling game going on between various superpowers.
All these fucking superpowers. We're just all the people just wanting a nice life with our families and with our homes and with our right across the world, and all these fucking maniacs.
And the Chinese embassy in the US posted this online.
Oh my God, what is happening here?
Oh no! Let me keep everyone safe.
Sounds great. Maybe not.
Now, there we go. Relax. Sometimes security comes with a little control.
So we're in the land of various superpowers making animated shorts. It's worrying, Mads. It's worrying. They're trying to turn it into a Pixar
We just
movie.
want peace. Of course we do hope.
Yeah. I mean, their point there is quite something. America will protect you as long as they can enslave you. That's the point they're making. And Iran are making the point. I would say that Iran's point is one of you've declared a war to hide from Epstein and you're killing innocent children. Whereas Trump just wants to equate killing Iranian lives to 10-pin bowling and scoring a strike. So there we go.
Do you think Barron is in charge of these social media
I think he
posts?
might have some part in it.
His name pops up more and more and more, and honest to God, every time I see him, I get a chill.
I find him
and he's very in the manosphere.
Sinister character.
All those manosphere boys from the show the other night were all talking about Barron.
On that note, we will be later today at tea time doing a live chat on the manosphere. So if you've watched it, come and join us. We'll pop up a live link. We'll let you know when it is. So I hate to say it, but we are really at sea there. Also, the other news we did want to talk about was the Owen Jones story.
Yes.
This is...
And the Hind Rajab.
Yeah, this is really good news. Owen Jones. Sorry, I've just... oh, God, hang on 1 second. I think I've lost the story. Just 1 second.
The Owen Jones story.
Yeah. So the Owen Jones story, obviously, this was Rafi Berg, the BBC's Middle Eastern online editor, had instigated a libel case against him. And Owen Jones essentially has won, or they dismissed it yesterday immediately, which is really important because Owen Jones, independent journalist, he was supported, I believe, financially in fighting back by Drop Site
yes,
News.
because Drop Site News, who we often talk about, do follow them on YouTube. They're a fantastic group of journalists, and they had assured him that if he were to get, sued, they would support him. Amazing. We saw this morning 4,000 separate people donated so that Drop Site News could fight this action, and they raised £250,000, and that really warmed my heart that there were so many people that could put their money where their mouth is and say, no, this is not right, that you're going to be basically bullied by expensive lawyers. And of course, he won the case.
Yeah,
he won it. I've got it here. So UK's High Court's ruled in favour of journalist Owen Jones on key issues in a libel case. So over an article in which Jones alleged that Burge fostered a culture of bias towards Israel. And basically the ruling determined that it was an honest opinion. Now, he could still, Rafi Berg, couldn't he, take it further? But all indications seem to be that would be very silly Billy thing to do. So yes,
Roxy, I'm amazed they haven't got rid of Rafi Berg. I mean, he's a man who is so enthralled to Mossad and the CIA. I mean, he's written books in which he positively is like all dewy-eyed about them.
Yeah.
How can you
So see here, he said in 2020, Berg said it was wonderful to be in a circle of trust with current and former Mossad agents while writing his book. His blurb says it was written in collaboration with operatives involved in the mission, endorsed as the definitive account and including a foreword from the commander who went on to become the head of Mossad. What's Berg's official title at the BBC?
He's the head of Middle East and head of online news.
It's stuck in my mouth because every time I've said it, I can't believe it. And Owen Jones is a fantastic journalist. Please subscribe and follow him on his YouTube channel and on his Instagram account. Follow him.
Shakir Abad, really important point to make. The really big news here. No one doubted that what he'd written wasn't opinion and wasn't allowed to be published, and it was terrible and awful that Rafi Berg was trying to prevent this. But Shakir Abad makes a really important point. The community crowdfunding to support Owen Jones is amazing. That really is a win for freedom of speech for journalists.
Exactly.
Because independent media, smaller outfits, smaller...
4,000 people said no and put their hand in their pocket.
Yes.
And that's why when we say to you things like, please hit the subscribe button, it doesn't cost you anything, hit the like button, it's because everybody that talks on any of these issues is taking a risk. They're taking a risk. You know, I mean, me being off the telly and speaking up and speaking out, it makes me a target, believe you me. And so supporting people who are brave enough to talk about these issues, just by hitting that subscribe, that like button, doesn't cost you anything. And then to have that community that then can support in the way that it has is just phenomenal. It warmed my heart in dark times. And you know, independent news channels are growing every single day because people are turning away from, you know, just the standard lines that they're given day in, day out. Let me be clear.
Yes.
Let me be crystal clear.
Yeah. Well, just they don't ask any challenging or probing questions whatsoever. James Thompson, very clever there. The BBC needs ending. It's not fit for
oh my
anymore.
God, I love that. BBC.
The BBC, of course. And I did have a clip, but for some reason it's gone complete walkabouts. But I just want to share this story with you. US lawmakers, Democratic lawmakers, are introducing or trying to introduce a Hind Rajab accountability bill. The Justice for Hind Rajab Act has been introduced by Senator Peter Welch and Representative Sarah Jacobs, and it demands a US investigation into the killing of the 5-year-old or 6-year-old Palestinian girl whose story inspired the film The Voice of Hind Rajab. So this is a bill that, you know, how far it will get, the extent to which they'll be successful or not. This is an attempt by some lawmakers in America to, because they apparently forensics at the scene suggests that American military and American ammunition was used.
And 50 bullets were pumped into that car. He's pumped into that car with that little girl in. It just
so again accountability. But what's really tragic about this story is as they pursue accountability, none of the lead actor cannot travel to America for the Oscars, even though it's been nominated in the Best International Picture category.
Because why? He's Palestinian. Simple fact.
Simple prejudice.
That's the only reason. Racism.
Yeah. The US cannot be trusted to do this investigation, says King. No, but again, every now and then you need kernels, you need pinholes of light and hope, and just to even hear
somebody standing up and saying this is a fucking disgrace. Let's never forget when Bibi went into the Senate and the whole place stood and erupted with applause. So we need to be reminded there are good people that are, you know, outraged by this. And if you haven't seen Hind Rajab, the movie, please, as it's an act of resistance to watch it. And it is, that little girl is that little girl is so extraordinary. You've seen clips of her pleading for her life and on Instagram, but she was on that phone for 3.5 hours, and she, as we went to a private screening, didn't we? And as the lead actor said at the time, she's just one of thousands. He said, what has been done to the children? He said, I can't even, a normal human being can't even imagine it. So it's an act of resistance to watch that film, to talk to other people, to say to other people, watch our review. It's on here. And come on, we're all strong enough to do it. We're all strong enough to watch it, because just remember what they're going through. Yeah.
An act of resistance to see the film. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Keep your thoughts coming in. Keep your comments coming in. Stay subscribed to the channel, and more will be heading your way.
And well done, Owen.
Manosphere